this one is impossible. So we're going to end the game here. Hello! And welcome back to Infinity Evolved on the FTOG server. In the last episode, we worked on the button puzzle where you can see below. And between episodes, I finished doing the lava and just tidied a few things up around the sides and started putting some basics into the next puzzle. In this episode, we're going to finish off this whole co-op system so that people can play and have a bit of fun on the server. Hopefully before everyone else finishes. I'm feeling a little bit behind because of course I'm spending so much time on the co-op or on the community builds, but of course I'm loving it. Hopefully you're loving it and you're not seeing the same that everybody else is doing. I am throwing in some tips and tricks and new things into each of the builds, which hopefully will make these videos still quite interesting to watch. But I'm really hoping that in the next episode we'll be back into working on our new base area. Between the episodes and while building this, I've been waiting for something to finish. So you'll have to wait until the next episode to see what it was I was working on. However, oh, that's not what I want. Get by. So the plan for, as you can see, I'll put the glass in so I can now walk on top. And the plan for this episode, of course, is to start working on this small puzzle. Now, the plan is to make a bit of a parkour jump type puzzle. Not going to make it too difficult on parkour because I really don't like parkour myself. And it's not really a puzzle. It's more of just a let's jump across things as fast as possible. I'm probably going to add a little bit of co-op stuff into here just to make it so you have to wait for your team member. But hopefully it'll be still enjoyable enough and still challenging enough to be part of this puzzle. As you can see though, I've built up the sides so you can't, we've got the, So as you can see, I've built up the corridor So as you can see, there's a corridor in the middle with all the alloy wire that we had in the last episode. I do apologise, it is winter here, so it's really quite cold, and it's also the reason why I haven't been playing as much, because it is freezing cold in my little office area here. And it means that when I'm editing videos, it takes a lot longer. But hopefully we can do something really cool in the next episode. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to a time lapse of me building up the jumps for this, and come back when I'm done.
It's you. It's been a long time. Oh, thank God you're all right.
Okay, so this is the first part of it, or you could say the player 1 part. Of course, they would come into the store here, and they come in, and of course there's going to be lava on the ground, so you probably saw me testing out various jumps and making sure everything was working, and I fell off a lot of times, so it's pretty easy without the roof. But of course with the roof on the top, it does make it a lot difficult, because then you've got actually a different type of jump you've got to do. So if I take off my jetpack, because of course that's makes it really easy to do. The first jump's pretty easy. You can actually, okay, I said it was pretty easy. Move those to there. And of course I've just put some ladders in so that I can get back up. So we go over to here and we try again. So you can get over there with a bit of a sprint jump. Not actually too difficult, but if you just try a normal jump, you fall down. Of course, that's only one of the tips that you've got to know about Minecraft parkour type things. But most of it is from the having the glass on top here, meaning of course that you can't jump very high. So you can see if I do that, I don't go very high. So when I do that, I can just make it, but well, no, I can't just make it. Looks like I could just about make it, but I can't. However, if you sprint jump, you can actually just about. Actually, you could probably walk that. Yep. Nope. Maybe not. Not quite sure whether you can walk that or not. Let's try that again. Okay. Bit glitchy. You might be able to walk that if you're lucky. Now, let's just eat something before I have food. So I head back into here and sprint. No, so it does get retirement. It may push you off, but it may be possible to do. But the easiest way is just to jump. Okay, maybe not. Just to jump, and you'll land on there. Now, hopefully these two here are far enough apart that you can't jump onto them. As you can see, sprint jumping doesn't work. Once again, you get a lot less height when there's a thing above you. So the idea is you have to jump over to there, and as you can see, I can get over there. And then this one here is pretty much the same as that one over there. This one here is a little bit of a height challenge, not too hard. This one is impossible. Yep, it's impossible. So we're going to end the game here. No, I'm going to add some extras into here, so that this is where the other player will trigger something for that to go up and down. And I'll work on that in a moment. The rest of these jumps should be pretty easy. The only thing I'll actually change from the time lapse is I'll put dirt in here instead of the fantasy block. Just because I think it will blend better, blend with the it'll blend with the inside a lot better. Because as you can see, it blends here as dirt. On top, of course, you can see everything going on, but it's actually going to be, this is going to be the second part of the parkour for the second player. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the second part of the time lapse and do the second half for on the top piece here. We just stay over there. Right, so I've done the top up. I know I did say I was going to do a time lapse, but when I actually went through and placed it, it didn't take that long at all. Taking down this wall actually took longer than placing the blocks. So as you can see, this one works a bit more differently to the bottom one in that each block is actually floating. And there's going to be a lot more headroom on the top here. Hoping this will still work once I put the roof on. Actually, I haven't tested that. But it will be. I've realised the roof's too low anyway. So I'm going to have to raise it for this section only. Just raise it up probably by about 1 block, maybe 2, depending on how much room I need to do it. But of course, to do this one here, it's not. Oops, take my jetpack off again. And we'll place down a piece of dirt here. Obviously there is a... Hello? There will be another piece to go in here shortly. What are you doing? Hi. I don't have eyes, so I can't help. I don't really want to hug right now. No. So yeah, you're gonna jump along here. This is probably the easier one because there's no lava underneath it. But of course it does require a little more skill on the long jumps than the short jumps, or the restricted jumps than the other one does. But it should be possible to do them all. This would probably be the hardest one because of course the roof will be the same as below where it's 1 high. And here's our magical pressure plate, which this person will have to trigger for the bottom one to adjust. And we'll get to that in a second. So we'll go back over to here. Take that out. So go up to here, jump over there. We'll then do a bit of a jump there, a small jump there. It is possible to get up to here pretty easily, and of course it will be some form of long jump to there. Hopefully, I did manage to get into there before. I don't know if I want to try it again. I'll probably give it one more try. I did manage to do it. I promise I did. I'll make this one the last try. I think the trick is not to... No, okay. Well, it is possible. I'm not going to keep trying. Oh, there's a hole over there. We can't have a hole. Made that for another reason earlier. That. And I've decided I'm not going to have the hole here, so we can get rid of that there. So it is possible to do this whole thing, and I just demonstrated most of it. Of course, I didn't do it on one complete run. It is maybe possible to do it on one complete run. It should be. We can do it in partial runs. You should do the whole thing. And there's probably other ways of getting to the various blocks. But of course, you must get this one here in order to get the other player through onto this block, which is underneath. So what I'm going to do now is make up some more alloy wire and a drawbridge so that we can actually set up the cabling to go around to the button. And also I'm going to add a little bit extra into here. But once I craft all that stuff up, I'll be back. Okay, so I've just made the drawbridge and I've got just about got everything else I need, and I realized that in order for the drawbridge to work, it's actually going to have to be a little bit higher off the ground because it's going to be fully extended. And if I put it underground, of course, when it retracts, it'll retract into the lava and won't look the greatest. Plus, people won't be able to actually use it to jump on. So I thought I'd bring it back and we'll have a look at, there's another thing in Project Red. So we've looked at the alloy wire, which of course is this stuff here. And I'm not sure if I've got enough, but we'll have to see about that when we get there. But there's actually the framed insulated wire. Now what this is it's just the red alloy wire again, with wood strips. Does it have to be wood? Looks like it has to be wood. Okay, it's not a problem. Well, actually, I could try something else. Do I have any other strips on me? Let's go into here and see if I find any strips. Strip. Look at that, we've actually, oh, and they're wood as well, so that makes it easy. How many do you get for that? I think it's just one, isn't it? Yeah, which is fine. We'll probably need about, I'm thinking probably 2, just to go through the middle. So let's test this out. So we place these around there, and then we place these in the middle. Do we get? No. The strips has to be oak wood, it looks like. Okay, oh, that's fine. A little bit specific, but that's fine. I think I've got some wood in here somewhere. Oak wood posts from back in the back when we're setting up the spawn area. So I'll probably take some of those out and place them into here. Actually, I don't need to place them in there. It's covers, place it there, halve them, take all that out. And then of course we'll go into here, and hopefully this time, if we go around like that, cool. So we need 2 of those. Hopefully we need 2. If not, I'll come back and make some more. And I think that's everything we need. So we'll head over to the new area and I'll meet you there. Okay, so we're back here. Now, of course, we're going to have to take all of these out. Probably, so the plan was to make it that tall, I think it was. Yes. So lava. No, probably. Yeah, that's probably right. And if we play, so we also need to take out the blocks in between. So we need to take it this one, and this will get placed with the framed LOY. Now, of course, you can make this with the other types that we used for this build as well. But as you can see, it just placed in the middle, so you can actually stick it in the middle of nowhere, and it will actually run the cable along. So you don't need to then run and along the walls. So if you haven't got a wall available, which we won't in this case, we can actually get around that. And of course, on top of that, it's got another cool property to it, where if we grab some of the wall and fantasy blocks we just pulled out. Oh, I hope this doesn't go to permanent. Oh, that could be annoying. Let me just check that before I go and place it down. No, I'm going to have to split it first, so let's do that. Looks like that might do it. Okay. Might not do it on the vanilla packs, texture packs, but I don't like the fact that it's doing that. So let's join them together again. And we'll try one of the other ones because I'm pretty sure that the purple one works fine. In fact, does that one work alright? Let's try that one. Well, that one seems to work alright. Oh! I knew it was going to happen. What I was going to say is you can actually, it has 2 properties. One, you can place the cover on it like that, and as you can see, it then actually takes on the texture while still having the LI wire coming through, which is fine. You get that, you can make it look like any form of pipe then, and just have a cable going through the middle. And if we grab the other one, for example, we'll place it here, and of course you can see it joins up to the existing cables. But we actually don't want that. Can I get that? And of course, it's just to take it off, just shift or sneak and click. If you sneak and click like this, you'll see that it now turns into the full block. which will give you a bit more of an effect. And of course, then we can fill in the whole thing and make it look like it's going all the way down, which is really quite useful. So I have to go make some more later on and finish that piece off. Now, obviously, like this, it's not connecting to the top block, and we need to pass the signal through for the block that will be on top of it. So we just right-click, of course, onto there, and it will then pass the signal through the top, connecting it onto the existing piece. On top of here, we're going to add our drawbridge. Now, I did mention in the first episode of this that there is an advanced version of the drawbridge, and that's what I've made here. So like the other one, you can disguise it. So we're going to make it look like a wall and fantasy block. So it looks just like the original blocks that were there. I don't like that. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. Well, there should be lava in it, so hopefully it won't be too bad. But you can also go into the inventory here, this little button, and you can choose which blocks are extended out there and which order they come out. So we can actually go 1 fantasy block, 2 fantasy blocks, and then the decorative on top. So that if we apply our redstone signal, so we'll grab a lever, stick it there for now. You can see that it will take it all the way out. Oh, that's not what I thought was going to happen. Let's try and use that one maybe. It's taken it all out, cool. And of course it's back to the original state where you can't jump over it. It'll be just impossible to jump over that. In fact, it might be too high. I think it is actually too high. Let's take one out. This one here. Inventory, take one of those out. Not sure what happens if you leave the middle one out. Let's give it a try. It gets confused. Okay. I was expecting a little more help from that, but we'll do that. There you go. So I'll go back up here, and of course, now it looks like you can jump over it, but you can't quite. So let's dig down here. Probably going to go down a couple. So we've got lava there, so let's not sit directly on the lava, because that'd be rather fatal when we're trying to maintain it. Hopefully this will come out right next to where I've already started tunneling down, next to the main block. Why am I using my hand? Let's use this shovel. Oh, there it is. So I need to go one more. So up there, of course, is the... In fact, we'll go up there and have a look. Ooh. So this is the maintenance area, of course. And directly up there is the pressure pipe, which, as I said, will actually require some of this be standing on. So we'll run our. Can I get in there? No. Okay. Place that there then. So of course the pressure plate is there. So in theory, we could probably do that. I'm going to get all of that. Not sure how to, let's try running it this way for now. And yes, there's a reason why there's a block there, and I'll get to that probably very shortly. It's down there. Okay, no, it doesn't read it. So we have to put it there, it looks like. No, it also doesn't. Oh dear. Sure, that's where the plate is, isn't it? Oh, I think it's because it's a different type of plate. Let's make a normal plate. Oops. Place it there. So we can take this off, take that off, take that off, take that off, take that off, because we're actually going down, not up. We'll run the cabling along here. Oh, that was a bit of a fall. Bit of silver lag there. Possibly save that. And of course we'll run this along here, and as I said, hopefully I've got enough cable. Looks like it might be. Perfect. And I need to put that back on. And then place that into there. It should hopefully connect. Yes. Don't think that it actually connected the way I thought it would. I might have to go make another one of those and place it here. So that it then can run along the side. Let's just do some testing though so you can see it in action. So there you go, so you can see it's doing that. If we then go up to here, and we'll pretend like we're the other player, oops, and we've just fallen off. Do that. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do instead is we'll use some of these covers and slabs I've got lying around. Take a slab and quite a large collection of marble covers there. I'll make 10 of them. Take that and take that. And for those people who didn't know, because you can place the covers, place them on the side here, right? You can keep expanding them out. And if you go far enough, you can actually make it so you can't fall through the hole. I don't think I'll go any more than that without cutting it off. No. But that'll stop, of course, being if you're running along. Let's just fill the hole back up. Take that out. So, of course, if you're running along, you'll see I've done it here, just to stop people falling in. And I've also done it in this hole here we put in earlier. But of course, you're running along, you can't fall in that hole, but it still lets the cable get through, which is really quite helpful, especially with alloy wire. We'll go up to here, and it should be active. Stand on the button, and boom, done. Awesome. Okay. So that's that part done. And as I said, I'm going to have to come back. So take that out. I'm going to have to come back and put some covers on just before I put the wire in. But I can do that off camera. You don't need to see me doing that. One of the other things I was going to do is you might have noticed in my inventory I have some fans. And the fans are here to make things a little more complicated. Because if we put a fan there, by default they don't turn on. Because you're helping your fellow player out. And you can stand here forever until they cross. Well, if they're slow, and we were to put a lever on the block next to it. If I've done that correctly, no, it's not on properly. So this is normally used in mob traps and various other things, but of course it can be used as a really good thing for moving players around as well. Because if we stand here, we get thrown off. In fact, it had quite a... Oh, I need to put the glass back in too, don't I? Let's go over to here. So you can move around it, it's not too difficult to get, and hopefully if I've done it right, and placed in the right place, it won't push us off when we get to here. It's only when you get to here, so you can't stand there forever, you've only got a certain amount of time, or you've got to keep moving. Now you can keep moving, as I said you can do this, you can just stand there and press the buttons a few times. In fact, it looks like we might... Oh, hello. I'm going to have to change that around a little bit. Oh, it's raining. That's exciting. I need to move this guy a little bit. So it has to be pretty much dead on, I think, about there. Otherwise, it looks like you can stand. That looks better. Yeah. So the idea is you can't find a place to stand there and get out of that one. It's very helpful. Okay, cool. Now, of course, that applies to the person doing the top run. I'm now going to go and hide something for the bottom run. And then I'll come back once that's done. Now, I have one last thing to do. Obviously, we've got a problem. Because we've got this entrance, well, this door here, and we've got a thing here, but you can't go anywhere. So the very last thing we need to do is actually put in probably another entranceway, just a basic room, and that'll allow us then to start off the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that set up, and I'll be back shortly.
Oh, thank God, you're all right. I thought you were my greatest enemy, when all along you were my best friend. Well, you passed the test.
Okay. So we've got two little rooms here. The entrances. I have moved this door, the first pillar, just to center a bit more of the room here, because otherwise it was right on the edge here and it just didn't look right. And so that's one room. That's the access to the bottom floor. And of course we can also go in this door, and this will give us access to the top floor. Obviously, just like the other things, there will be glass above it to keep the light in. We of course do need to add some doors. And this will be the very last challenge. Hopefully nothing spawns while I'm out here and that's happening. I'm thinking that one there, and same with this one. And shift, or I'll click on that one to set it as an iron door, and same with that one. And then of course that means that you can't open the door unless you actually do some more redstone. And the redstone is, we actually want to stick one there. Right, so that opens that door, and then there's no way out. No? Okay. No, I'll probably put something there. Put that back to a normal door so I can get out for the moment. Oh, not what I wanted. What's that one? Does that one look any better? It's just about fully visible. I do want to put a fantasy block on there and on there. Probably that one there is probably the best, so let's set it to that as well. That one there. And we need to put a pressure plate. Well, actually, this one doesn't get a pressure plate. we will put a pressure plate over here. What's that noise? So worried a creeper's going to come up at this point to blow everything up. So this one doesn't get a pressure plate because the idea is we want it to be so that this here will let this person in, and then they have to go hop on the plate in here to be able to get in, or to let the other person in. I've done the wrong door. Oh well. Alright. We'll put a hole in the door over here so we can get out. Once again, we'll put a pressure plate there, which of course will open both doors, which is fine. Cool. Hopefully it's enough time to get out of everything. And of course this door here won't open. So you put that there, so they can't get into this room, but they can open both the doors once they're in here. Now the reason why it needs to be, this needs to be the one that's locked, is because it's quite easy just to continue on. So this one here, they can jump up here and they can just continue on. And they can just get to the other end, no worries. There's nothing to prevent them being able to go any further. Whereas of course with the up and down piece that we put in earlier, the bottom door needs to be unlocked, so that this person can come in and actually unlock the top piece. So that's it, why it's like that. Okay, so I think most of it's complete now. There's a few things I've got to do, such as put the lava into the bottom of that pit, and put the roof on, but it's mostly done, and I think it's ready to be played. So I'm going to call the episode here. As always, if you've enjoyed the video or learned anything new, please do hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button. If you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, or even just want to say hi, leave a comment down below. Look out for the videos from the other FTOG YouTubers as they play this co-op puzzle. And don't forget to go check out their channels as well. I'll add some links down in the description. But otherwise, have a great day, and see ya!
On there. Right, so that opens that door, and then there's no way out.